A grade school student with a hearing impairment is bullied and transfers to another school. Years later, the former bully is tormented by his behavior and sets out to make amends. Welcome back. Today's movie is a romance animation of 2016. A Silent Voice. Shoya was an elementary school boy and was very naughty in his school. His life changed when a girl, Shako, entered the school as a new student. But she was disabled and could not hear and also could not speak, so she used notebook to communicate with her. While everyone other tried to bully her, Shoya also bullied her in class to see is it true that she is deaf. One day she didn't came to school and the principal came to class to tell that she is being bullied and it has caused her illness, and so everyone pointed out Shoya and blamed him. Shoya felt so much bad that what has he done to her? Even his mother scolded her and paid some money for Shako hospital bill. Everything that happened caused her to leave the elementary school and change the school. Shoya from that day changed forever. The way he bullied Shako. He did everything to himself so that he could feel the same as her, and so the other student also bullied him all the elementary school years. As time passed, Shoya was so much disappointed, and he sold all his comic books and other stuff and got the money from it and handed over to his mother. Shoya had started going to middle high school, and there he once again saw Shako, and he remembered everything he did to her and wanted to be friends again. He even learned sign language so that he could easily talk to her. Next day, while he was having breakfast, his mother asked him why he wanted to die, and he with understanding told the truth, and his mother got so angry and scolded him, and even burned the money he gave to his mother as he gave them because he was going to kill himself. Shoya asked forgiveness from her mother, and even his sister-daughter was seeing him and laughed. She was too young to understand what was happening. While Shoya started to go to the school, he wanted to make his friendship better with Shako. Shoya had made everyone his enemy after Shako left the school and Mickey was again in his class, and they both didn't talk to each other at all. Everyone looked Shoya in a different way and everyone thought about him as a weird person. Everyone in around him always avoided him, but Tomohiro saw goodness in him as he helped him while he was being bullied, and he made a friend ship him and he started to hang out. He helped Shoya in every possible way. Shoya tried to go and visit Shako in her class but every time her younger sister stepped forward and stopped him as Shako could not hear, she never knew he was outside. But one day Tomohiro started fighting with Yuzuru, Shako's younger sister, and then Shako saw Shoya, and after that she went to talk to Shoya, and they both sorted out everything, but Yuzuru made some pictures of Shoya while he jumped into the river while helping Shako. Yuzuru posted the picture online, and next day Shoya was suspended from the school for 1 week. Later, Shoya went outside with Maria to let her play in the playground and saw Yuzuru there lying in the slide, and Shoya brought her to his home and gave her some food to eat, and later that night he went with her to take her back to her home, and when they reached there, Yuzuru and Shoko's mother slapped him and told her daughters to stay away from Shoya, but they both disagreed. Next day, Shoya, Yuzuru, Shako, and Tomohiro met each other, and they become friends with each other's, and there Shoya asked Shako that is there anything she wanted, and she asked him to get the number of Miyoko, who was a friend of them in elementary school, and so he agreed. Shoya asked Miki about Miyoko, but she didn't know. Then he decided to go and check in her hometown to see her. Next day when he was going, Shako also asked Shoya that can she come along, and so they both went to see her. While they reached to the station there, they suddenly met her while she was passing, and so Miyoko and Shako met each other. Shoya asked them that he will go and look around, and while he was walking he saw Nayaka. She was also a friend, but used to bully Shako and was turned into an enemy. Later he followed that where she worked, and even came back with Tomohiro to meet her, but failed as Nayako saw him and avoided him. Later when Shoya returned home, he saw Yuzuru playing with Maria, and he gave her a gift for her sister. Next morning, Shoya was watching Shako from distance, and there Nayaka appeared and greeted Shoya after a long time. She saw Shako also, and when Shoya tried to go and meet Shako, Nayaka interrupted, and again she misbehaved with Shako, and Shoya tried to stop her, and she left them and got away. Next morning, Shako got properly dressed and made a good-looking ponytail to impress Shoya. Later, when Shoya saw her, he was also amazed. Shako was very happy, and she said word to Shoya, but they were too confusing for Shoya to understand. But while leaving, Shako gave a present to Shoya and went back home. Next day, Shoya asked that Toshi, a good friend of mine, wants to be friends with you. He thinks you're good. And so they all met on the riverside, and Tomohiro questioned Toshi to check how good is he. Next day, they all went to an amusement park. Miyoko, Shoya, Shako, Yuzuru, Toshi, Miki, and unexpectedly Miyoko invited Nayako too, so all can be friends again. They all were having fun. Shoya was very confused as he didn't had fun for a long time, and had made so many friends in a long time. Their Nyako tricked Shoya and made him meet his older friend Kazuki, who blamed Shoya, and he was punished in elementary school, and so Shoya was confused and went away from there. Naoki tried to explain him, but he was not convinced. Naoki angrily went to a ride and took Shauko with her, and Shoya tried to stop, but Naoka took her forcefully. Next day, Yuzuru came to Shoya's house to show him a video. She showed him the conversation of Naoka and Shauko on the ride, and Nyako bullied her in that ride, and watching that he was very upset. Next day in school, Shoya told Toshi that Nyako used to bully Shauko in elementary school, that why Shauko don't like Naoka. Later, Miki came to see Shoya and asked, why did you tell Toshi about that all, and also told that he was the one who used to bully Shauko, and from there onwards, Shoya left the school and went home. Next day, Miki called everyone to resolve the problem. But when Naoka told that everyone was guilty, Miki didn't agree to it, and everyone started to blame everyone. Listening to everyone, Shoya was very much disappointed and took the whole blame on himself and talked rudely with everyone, and then everyone left. Shoya sent everyone away, and alone he stayed with Shauko, and even asked her to go somewhere special, and she agreed while smiling. One day Shoya was wandering around feeding bread to fishes, saw Yuzuru crying and wearing school uniform, and he asked her the problem and walked with her to his home. He was confused what had happened, and she took him to her grandmother's funeral, who had just passed away. Later in summer holidays, Shauko and Shoya both went to trip together and had a lot of fun. And to make her happy, Shoya took her to many places, and Yuzuru also accompanied them. Later, Shauko took Shoya to his home to celebrate their mother's birthday, and there, seeing Shoya, their mother was very angry, but Shauko convinced her, and everything got normal. Later on the night of fireworks, Shoya, Shauko, and Yuzuru went to watch them, but soon Shauko said that she will go home to study and left the place. Yuzuru forgot the camera at home, and Shoya went back to their house to bring it back. And while he was gathering the camera equipment, he saw Shauko on balcony and saw her trying to jump off, and he ran towards her, and with every strength he had grabbed her. He convinced himself to save her at any cost, and while pulling her up, he fall down from there into the water. Next, Shoya was in Aiku. Yuzuru met his mother in the hospital, and Shoya mother thought that it was all Shoya's fault. But Shauko mother kneeled down to ask for forgiveness. As it was Shoko's fault, she tried to jump to kill herself, but Shoya saved her and fell down from there. Naoka there beat the hell out of Shauko as it was her fault. Shauko mother came to save her, but Naoko beat her too, and then Shoya mother stepped in and stopped the fight and scattered everyone. And Shauko there kneeled down to Shoya mother and cried a lot. Next day, Shauko tried to go and meet him in the hospital, but Naoko there didn't let her in, and even not Tamahiro, so Shauko and Tamahiro went to the cafeteria, and they both talked. Then Shauko realized that it was her fault as she didn't change, and because of that Shoya is in trouble, and then to correct everything she went to Miki and apologized to her, and they resolved the problem. Then Shauko went to Miyoko, and they both resolved the problem. Shauko tried a lot of time to talk to Naoka, but every time she ignored her and went away, and she was sad because to that. Then at a night, Shauko was beside the fish water, and then Shoya waked up from his coma, and because he saw a terrible dream, he ran towards the place, and there they both met once again and apologized to each other for their mistakes. Next day, Shoya was discharged from hospital and went to home. He even met Naoka and thanked her for staying with him, and she told him that Kazuki pulled you out of that river. Next day, he went to school back and was very much invited by everyone. He was so confused that everyone missed him, and his friend Naoka and Miyoko also came to see him. He was very happy to see all, even Naoka and Shoko were getting along together. In the end, they all went to the festival, and their Shoya finally understand that everyone is a friend and not enemy, and Shoya and Shauko stayed the best friends. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.